I think that'll do. So, YouTube, it's me, Activist, back with a brand new video. I want to talk about a truth about bodybuilding and building an aesthetic body that I don't think it's talked about a lot. And look, it's the fact of this. You can have a nice body and still be an incel. You can have a nice body and still be an incel. How the fuck does that work? It's supposed to naturally attract women, right? No, not necessarily the case. Yes, it's true. Women love to see a guy with a nice body. That's 100% true. There are women out there who love to see a guy with a nice body. However, if you are not doing the internal work within yourself, that internal work within, all you're going to do, all that's going to happen is you're just going to be the same person you were before you even touched the weights. You just look better. That's the only difference. You'll still be an incel. You'll just look better. Now, sure, you'll have a confidence boost. But it's about more than just confidence when it comes to this shit. You gotta work on, you gotta really go in deep within yourself to really move past certain things. You gotta be able to get past past traumas, past betrayals, the underlying reasons for why you might have certain mindsets. So for example, if you're someone who's not necessarily super inclined to be trusting of women because you've had bad experiences with women, you've been cheated on, you've been led on, you've been lied on, you name it. You've been mistreated, genuinely mistreated by bad women in the past. And that affects and that's affecting your ability to trust women today. You're going to have to work on that and get past it. Now, those experiences right there does not equate someone to being an incel. We know, anyone watching this channel should know, without me having to put the fucking definition of a fucking incel on the screen, anyone watching this channel should know what an incel qualifies for. An incel is 9 times out of 10, you aren't going to see an incel in the gym or watching self-improvement channels like this, because most of the time incels, they focus more on blaming rather than solving. They focus more on finger pointing and blaming this person and that person for why they can't get laid or why they're stuck in life, rather than taking action and changing what they don't like about their lives. So me saying you can have a nice body and still be an incel is more of an exaggeration. I'm basically saying you can have a nice body and still be alone. You can have a nice body. You can have a nice body and still not attract women. It's 100% possible for you to have a nice body and still have a tough time attracting a partner. It's 100% possible for you to have a nice body and still have a lot of inner work to do. It's common, actually. There are a lot of niggas at the gym who might be ripped, might be shredded, but they haven't done the internal work. So if they went to the gym in hopes to build a nice body and attract more women, they might notice some more compliments, but they might notice they're getting more compliments, maybe getting more dates, but it's still not going anywhere. And that's because the internal work's not being done. When you're building a nice body, when you're building a body, an aesthetic body, nice body, whatever the fuck we're going to call it, when you're building an aesthetic body, you need to remember to do the internal work. The gym is a dojo. That is 100% a dojo, where you go in there and you break down the muscles on your physical body to build them up, to build those back up, to build an aesthetic body. However, you need to be hitting the mental gym too. You need to be reading different books, reading books, period, if you don't read, because speaking at least for America, the average reading level, the average American, 54% of Americans, I think that's a rough estimate, but it's about correct. 54% of Americans read at a 6th grade reading level. 54% of Americans read at a 6th grade reading level. Many people who haven't gone to college, I haven't gone to college, but I read a lot. But there are a lot of people who haven't gone to college who haven't read a book since high school. So I think you should really let that sink in, how much is going to like make you stand out just from reading a book alone. You want to make sure you're taking in the right information though. So, you know, just from reading a book alone, that's going to make you stand out. Literally, just reading a book alone is going to make you stand out. But for one, start reading some books if you don't already. Go outside the bounds of just like self-help and self-improvement books. Those are good. They have their place, but you don't want to be one of these guys who's just constantly reading self-help book after self-help book. Expand those genres. Read some philosophy books, read some political books, read some fucking history books, because you want to, like, what's important about reading those books right there, I don't talk politics on this channel, is it allows you to develop a better understanding of the world around you and why things are the way they are, how they got here, and the fact that this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum and it doesn't come from ideas. It comes from struggles, you know, like struggles between two opposing ideas, opposing forces. One inevitably is victorious over the other, and that affects history, and that affects the future from there forward. But even that's not permanent. Secondly, I've already got meditation videos on here. If you don't meditate, you definitely need to be meditating. Meditating has numerous benefits outside of just like, outside of helping you be present. The benefits of meditation, you're able to know yourself more deeply. Like, I will tell you this, if you meditate for a year, you will know yourself more. You will know yourself on so much of a deeper level that like someone else's outside perception of you isn't going to matter, because you're going to know yourself on such a deep level from meditation. Meditating with no like music, no distractions, especially if you're in nature and you're just sitting with your thoughts and exploring those and really like unpacking those, yes, you can get to know yourself on a much deeper level. You'll be a lot harder to manipulate. You'll know, again, like I'll reiterate that point however many times I need to. You will know yourself on a deeper level, which is important. You need to know yourself on a deep level like that. You do. Because you'll be able to understand why certain things trigger you the way they do. How one thing that may have happened when you were a teenager or when you were in childhood that didn't seem so significant then actually was significant enough to like affect the way that you carry yourself and present around the world, like, and the way that you react to certain things within relationships, within friendships, because believe me, that stuff does have long-term effects. I would even also say limit your phone usage, because we live in the age of social media. I've got videos on this too. We live in the age of social media where everyone is online. Everyone's on their phones. We live in a chronically online society. Everyone's online. Everyone's on their phones all the time. There aren't a lot of people who are just like existing in the real world. And when you're on the internet, here's the thing about the internet. The internet gives you the ability to manifest the worst parts of yourself under the comfort of anonymity. Yeah, you can get doxxed and shit, but the average person isn't going to go out of their way to dox you. The average person isn't going to go out of their way to dox that troll that's just talking shit in the comments. But I say limit your social media usage, limit your phone usage, so you can be more present and exist in the real world, for one. Two, things will get to you a lot less. Like, you won't be comparing your results or your achievements to other people like that. Judgment won't affect you as much because you won't feel like there are eyes on every move that like you make, like there basically are on social media. There's eyes on everything you do basically on social media. You got followers, you got friends. Yeah, people are active at different times, but the stuff you do on there is being seen and judged by other people. You don't have to care, but the more you do that, the more it's going to feel like in your real life, people are judging you. You're just going to feel like people are judging you. You're just going to feel more like people are judging you in your real life. And especially if you're doing especially if you're in the gym, one of those guys that's in the gym for social media, it's cool to post your results on social media, showcase how far you've come. But if you're doing that for validation or to try to get some girl's attention on social media, yeah, no. But look, all in all, the point of this video is don't stop at just the physical. Work on the mental. Because I would argue that your mental health and your mental well-being, your state of mind, is far more important, is honestly just as important, if not more important, than you building an aesthetic body. Because, like I said, you can have a nice body and still basically be an incel. You can have a nice body and still be lonely if you don't do that internal work, And I guess I'll throw that in as a bonus point. Get comfortable being alone. That's one thing I'll say. Get comfortable being alone. I'm not saying settle with being alone, but get comfortable being alone. Get so comfortable in your own skin and being in your own company that it doesn't bother you if you're alone. That it doesn't bother you if you spend a few years being single or and you're not doing flings and sneaky links. Get comfortable in your own skin to that point to where you can handle just being alone and you don't feel like a piece of shit for it. But look, hit the thumbs up if this video helped you. Subscribe if you're new. I typically don't plug this in videos like this, but I mean, it's relevant because I'm talking about fitness. But I do have a course specifically for skinny guys who want to build a nice body within 12 months. This isn't going to have you looking like an Olympic bodybuilder in 12 months, but it's going to help you build that frame that allows you to get there. Within 12 weeks. It's going to help you build that frame that allows you to get there within 12 weeks, which is a 3-month time period. By the end of that time period, you are going to see some results you like, so long as you do things correctly, you do things right. That's not your jam. I also offer coaching. Whatever floats your boat, I offer it. Just hit the link in the description, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Go do something positive for somebody out there. There's enough negativity in the world. This is